and they're going to try to rub that no faith on you. They're going to tell you, girl, you ain't going to be able to get that. You ain't going to believe that. That money ain't yours. You ain't going to get that job ain't for you. You're going to rub on all kind of people like that. And what you got to do is remember that the Word of God told you that I can do all things through Christ because Christ strengthened me. I can have anything that I say I can have because my daddy owns it all. He owns the hills that the 1,000 cattle are standing on. He owns everything. He owns anything that you can see. He's the only person in this world that can take nothing and make something out of it. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God. And in that God that He made that Word, He said He spoke. And things happened. He began to speak, let there be life. He said, speak, let there be freedom. He started telling Adam, he said, Adam, I have given you dominion over everything that moves around this world. And you start naming them. So you have the authority in your tongue to start naming what you want in that race to happen. I want to get ahead of everybody. I don't want to be last. I want to be in the front. I want to be a front runner. You know what a front runner is? Somebody that starts the pace. You ought to be somebody in your 360 degrees or a circle of people. You ought to be labeled as a forerunner. In other words, the forerunner is just like John the Baptist. When John the Baptist came, he came and said that there is one that is greater than I cannot tie his shoes. I can't touch him. In other words, he is the one and only God. He is the one that will change this world. All we got to do is follow this leader. Do you not know that God said that you're in this race? This is a physical race. This is a mental race. This is a spiritual race. This is a race of faith. You got to believe that no matter what, I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to give up just because I lost a few things. I'm not going to give up because my wife has given up on me. I'm not going to give up because my family. And I'm about to close. I'm going to be short today, y'all. I'm not going to give up because things didn't go the way I wanted it to go. There's been some failures. There's been some disappointments. There's been some worries. There's been some hurts. There's been some resentments. And I want to put this thing behind me. And how do I put this stuff behind me? It's because I got to believe by faith that there's no weapon that you can shape, that you can form, that you can fashion against me. It's going to prosper on me because my God promised me that whatever I put my hands to do, He said He'll back me up in this race. You got to be just like the man that had his hand on the plow. You're going to keep pushing. You're going to keep moving. Always looking to the hills because my help is coming from Jesus. And I'm pushing. I'm not going to look back. I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to turn up. I'm not going to turn away. I'm going to keep my eyes on Jesus. Because when I kept my eyes on Jesus, when I was in hardship, He brought me out. I kept my eyes when I was on Jesus. And when I was in Him, He was my healer. And He still is my deliverer. Keep my eyes on Jesus. When going to get tough, I get tough and I keep on going. Is there anybody here know how to get tough and keep on going? Know how to get tough and come up your grip and tell the devil, I'm not ready to give up. I'm not ready to stop. Just at that point where I'm about to give you my best 1-2 punch. My 1-2 punch is I belong to God. I belong to Jesus. He is the author and the finisher of my faith. I'm running and I'm not going to throw out. I'm not going to give up.